Welcome to the House of Choices, a journey of self-discovery. Deep dive into the quantum field, where your truth comes to life and every choice matters. Step in and create from the field to form. Welcome to the House of Choices, where we will be discussing some of the key issues that matter in our lives and also bringing to life what is the true nature of reality. Hi, I'm Pooya Ahmadi.
I'm Monahan, and today we'll be uncovering the reasons behind this podcast, why we're here, why Pooya is here, and why we decided to do it together. So I'll start with asking a few questions about Pooya. So tell me a little bit about who is Pooya and what is her career background and why quantum physics even came into your world.
Ooh, that's a big question.
That's 3 in 1.
I know. I am of Iranian origin. I moved out of Iran when I was 12. I studied between Northern Ireland and London. I studied interior design and film and photography. And why did quantum physics come part of my life? I guess with everything, the only reason that you go to explore life is when you have many questions that life has not answered. And since a very long time, I wanted to know why I'm here and what is this reality. What about you? How did you start on this journey? How was your interaction with the quantum world? And tell me a little bit about your education and background.
So when I was probably 6, I was put into a convent school, and it was very strict Catholic upbringing, and I always felt I didn't belong or something didn't feel right. So I also thought it was very contradictory that the nuns would go gambling on the weekend and the priests
Right.
had HIV and a private life. So I was like, something doesn't feel right, but it feels like not me that doesn't belong, but the whole thing just doesn't belong.
Mm.
So I was always very psychic, and I would be able to see things and foresee things in the future. And as I grew up, I was always interested in the mysteries, ancient Egypt, and I was a super avid book reader, and everything was questions.
Mm.
Then fast forward into life, you get into business, finance, doing what your parents tell you to do. So I did a Bachelor of Commerce degree, and I majored in marketing and business management and clinical psychology. And then I moved to London, and I was thrown into the wine world. And at the same time, I was always, should I give it up and go into naturopathy? And so it kind of parallel path until today, really. And along the path, I found that I could not change the energy. So I could see what was going to happen, but I couldn't understand how to change it. And I had no idea about the field. And when I came back from America, where I had a lot of really deep, profound experiences with plant medicines, I understood what the field was. It was just my mind, my heart, my mind, body, soul was blown open with some of these experiences. And so when I came back to Ibiza, I moved to Ibiza actually, I started to study integrative quantum medicine. And this changed my life. I learned about the field, and I learned how to change energy. And then I realized, wow, we can create reality. Okay, so you are going to be launching a book called Food, Love, and Quantum Physics.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about why food, love, and quantum physics, because it's not usually put all together.
No, it chronicles my personal journey. I think it was food or eating disorder was something that was probably in my lifetime always in the background, quite silently and quite hidden. I just thought I was either too busy sometimes or I was too distracted to eat. I always preferred to do something more interesting. Anyway, it got to a point where during one of the rock bottoms that we hit in life, I realized that I couldn't eat anymore. And so I decided that I would find a way, because after 2-3 days, it would get to a point where you couldn't eat, but you could not eat unless you were really ready to give up. And I wasn't ready to give up. And by finding the way to cook for myself and starting on a vegan journey, I then realized a lot of other things were changing in my life. And it was almost as if the relationship with food was an indicative, it was very much indicative of how everything else in my life was going.
And do you think this came from family programming or the media or school?
No, I think it had something to do with, well, family programming. I don't know. It was more of an observation as a child. My mother didn't eat when she was upset. So I think it was normal for me to think that it was normal not to eat when I was upset. And because at this particular junction in my life, I was not just not upset, I was so confused about life. And so I stopped eating for a while. Yeah.
And the love heartbreak?
The love heartbreak, I think anything that happens in life brings you back to searching for the exact opposite. There's an opportunity to look for the opposite. And so I think what life was teaching me was self-love. And by cooking for myself, the way I was cooking, making sure there's always everything that could excite the senses, I then realized that by showing up and giving myself that time, there was the inner child that was going, if you show up, I'm all good. So there was a much better relationship with the inside. And I had been looking into quantum physics for a very, very long time, but it was all disparate. Nothing was a whole picture until one day I realized, oh my God, it can explain exactly what has happened to me. And that's why the book.
Yeah, it reminded me, your book, of actually the advanced retreats I've done with Dr. Joe Dispenza, because he so brilliantly explains neuroscience in basic human terms. And then he does the practical with the breath work and the meditation. And I think it's really important to teach people what is it in a basic way. Yeah. And then, because all the scientists, they have their own language. And so people are intimidated and they don't have the time, they're busy with work, and so they just push it aside. Yeah. So I think this is one of the reasons we decided to do this, was to make this into chicken nuggets for adults.
Yeah.
Right?
So on that note, what is the field?
The field, the field to me, and it's different, everybody describes it differently, but it is an invisible force, an invisible energy that is inside everyone. It is outside, inside, it is all around. It is the past, the present, the future, all together. And there's different ways to connect and the different ways of feeling the field. So, for example, when I connect, I'm basically putting myself into a trance, which I call trance thinking to consciousness and the field. And then I go deep into my heart and I ask infinite divine source, my guides, my ascended masters, the archangels, to support me in connecting to the field. Or if I'm doing a one-to-one session, then I'll do it like this. Yeah. And then what is it that I'm feeling? I'm feeling the vibration. I'm feeling that God is within me and I am God and God is within me. And all the information in the field is there to be tapped into, to give you any answers for any clarity you need across your life, health, wealth, business. And we've been programmed to believe that we have to look outside to the doctors, to the medical system, to sex, to alcohol, to food, when actually all the answers they're here. Yeah. You just have to believe. Yeah. And we can test also. So not only connecting, we can test whether what we're seeing and the answers that we have are correct.
Did you know in ancient Egypt, they called the field the net? And they called the people who knew how to tap into it the masters of the net.
Okay.
Because it was all about the observation, the observer, and then understanding the field and the fact that it's untapped energy.
As someone who's been in the mainstream media, how do you think they have created a feeling that the field is not real? Just from your experience interviewing different people.
I would say the media has become more of a programming than a reporting of what is real or what is true or what is being true at that given moment in time. And I think it's almost asking everyone, there is no critical thinking. It's almost asking everyone to accept what
One
is being
direction.
presented. Exactly. And so as I feel the media is not helping us to be sovereign thinkers. It's actually telling us what to think. And in that respect, if anyone wants to go down the road of exploring such topics, you're ridiculed. And you're actually told that you are crazy or woo-woo or out there, or there is no sense of normality. But when the world's crazy, I'm good with being called crazy.
Yeah, and also they continue to instill fear.
100%.
And when we can tap into the field and we get our own answers, and we can heal ourselves, this is when we have our sovereignty.
Yeah.
It's not a fear-based place. It's a truth-based place.
Yeah. And also I think the field, I would add that the field is the collective consciousness of all that has been, all that ever will be, and all that there is now. And therefore it is full of answers. You can have infinite answers by asking the right questions, but it always does come down to the right questions.
True. And when we tap into people who have passed, animals,
yes,
they have souls. There are souls in animals' bodies.
Yes.
And when we tap into people who have passed, the accuracy of the information is profound, which means the energy and the information never dies.
Yeah.
And arguably, which we can't prove yet, are they still around in a different dimension?
But we can't see Wi-Fi either.
Exactly.
But we know it works. You have faith to switch it on.
We were talking about what is the field.
Yeah.
And in human layman terms, the field is just a big infinite Wi-Fi connection. And our thoughts, our emotions, our frequencies.
Yeah.
So if we tap into the field, if we give off negative emotions and thoughts, we're giving a frequency to the field and the field responds back.
Yes.
So when we have all the fear, we need to switch it to gratitude.
Yes.
We have the power.
Yes.
But we don't know. Many people don't know. Right.
No.
So this is the fun. This is when you start to play.
Yes, of course. And I think the idea is not to explain everything necessarily, and we won't be able to explain it all now, here and now, but we certainly will unpack it during all the rest of the sessions, right?
Right.
And we'll bring other people to help us explain this better. Okay.
So going back to your book.
Okay.
If you could have 3 people to your dinner to talk about love, food, and quantum physics,
okay,
who would they be?
Who would they be? Food, love, and quantum physics. I would have Leonardo da Vinci. I would have Rumi. And I would have Pythagoras.
Oh, amazing.
I think it would be an amazing discussion about art,
science, poetry,
and
sacred geometry,
food. I'd cook for them, obviously. Persian style. Yeah, they would be the people. I mean, I would be in awe of the fact that both Leonardo da Vinci and Pythagoras were much more than people recognize in terms of they weren't just mathematicians or artists. They were scientists. They were
futurists
philosophers
as well.
Yeah, but also Pythagoras made huge contribution to music theory, and that's for me, he's one of the people who's really discovered the connection between mathematics, music, and the nature of reality, which is mathematics being the universal language of the world, as some people call it.
I see Robert E. Grant is very connected to his work, and it's really fantastic to see a lot of well-known people start to present the quantum field.
Yeah.
And based on the people that you would have at your table and people at home who feel stuck, who don't know what to do about love, who don't understand how to move forward, what's my purpose? What's the one quantum bit of advice you would give them just to feel a little bit unstuck and to take some step forward?
I would... Anybody who knows me would say to you that I'm a very blunt instrument.
Yes.
And so I would probably say it's time to look within. The answers aren't out there. It's definitely time to look within. And whatever you're experiencing, the universe is showing you as a mirror exactly what's going on inside of you. And if you can rise above the judgment of yourself and fall into falling in love with yourself and accept everything that is happening as your creation, then that means you are the creator. Because the moment you accept your shit, you can then move on to the good stuff. So not many people, no, I wouldn't say that. I think a lot of people are waking up and a lot of people are beginning to explore. So I think it always starts with the self. It's time.
What I thought was fun about you and I is that you've come from a corporate world.
Yes.
Even still.
So have you.
Yeah. So I have a drinks company.
Yeah.
Right. And you do a lot of work in the art world.
Fine art, yes.
And once we discovered this other world, we realized how much fun it could be. Because once you play in this world, you can win in this world and you can change this world.
Yeah.
And this is when the corporate world or working in the 3D world, in wine, for example, or zero alcohol drinks or art, it becomes much more, you can control the outcomes.
I would put that slightly differently. I would say that once you recognize the nature of reality, not only can you become more playful, but you also, it's not so much about controlling, but rather than controlling, you become more creative.
Yes, I agree. So it's to relinquish this, what we have in the corporate world of power, need, control, to hold on, how can I use my creativity to go to a higher level?
In fact, there's a phrase, participatory universe. This is a participatory universe. And once you accept that, then you recognize that everything is a game that you have to play. You have to be in it to win it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you begin to play from a very pivotal position rather than just thinking that life is happening and you're just going to have to go along with it.
I think also it's to tune into the right timing. So I'll give you an example.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a deal happening with a buyer in China, and the opportunity came in a year ago. And I was like, and then I went, no. And I connected with the field and I asked questions and more questions. And when I did send the email, it was 8 months later. Because if I had sent it then, I don't think it would have happened. But I connected and I tested and this is what I like. It's to be able to go and to really connect with yourself and ask yourself deeply, is this really the right time? Is this the right thing for me now? Because I often found in the corporate world, I would just be impulsive. We have to do this. We have to do it now. We have to do it without actually going, whoa. Let's be in our center and make the decision timelessly.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. Right. Amazing.
Okay.
What else?
This is the last time I use an iPad that automatically disappears with passcodes. Okay. So when you look back on your journalism career, what was the moment you realized you wanted to go past reporting facts and dive into deeper truth?
Well, my career in TV was more of a controlled. I wasn't reporting events. I was reporting more on advancement in technology, and opportunities, inward investment. So it was much more of a corporate reporting on the corporate, so to speak, media reporting on corporate. I think as a child, my questions were not answered about life. And most of my teenage years and my early 20s, I was seeking, like, do you know the answer? Do you know the answer? Does anybody know the answer?
And often we would dumb down, be quiet, don't ask so many questions.
Totally. And so for me, I think the point where I started to ask different kind of questions was when life wasn't working out the way I wanted it to work out. It wasn't giving me happiness. It wasn't giving me fulfillment. And so you ask different kind of questions if you want different outcome. And that's when I decided, I think 20 years ago, was the beginning of certain events unfolded in my life. And they were so profound that I had to stop and ask, how did that happen? And I think that's the beginning of my love with quantum physics.
I remember when I was in Miami, I had a friend who was doing the legals for the Santo Daime Church, bringing ayahuasca into the States. And he said, hey, do you want to meet the head padrino? And I'm like, okay. And we were in the car going to the ceremony. And it was a proper Brazilian tea ceremony. And the head padrino was sitting next to me. And he said, you're going to battle today. And I said, really, why? Because you have an ego. And I said, I don't have an ego. Anyway, I battled that day. However, the reason I went to the ceremony was because my father had Alzheimer's for 12 years. And I wanted to know if somehow this could break open the mind. So I went along and I had a really traumatic 5 hours. I actually left the ceremony. And I would say it was because I couldn't surrender at the time. And after 5 hours, I just went, I'm exhausted. And then suddenly I had these visions in my third eye of these amazing mountains in Hawaii. And in the sky was written, Alzheimer's is a man-made disease. And that's when my journey started into going, hold on, what's going on with the blood? What's going on with the DNA? What's going on with heavy metals? This is not just a problem with a bad diet.
Yeah.
This is a much more complicated situation, and pills, pharmaceutical pills, all of the stuff involved.
Yeah.
So I think it's really great to get to our age and go, what are those pivotal moments that brought such a transformation in my life that even changed my career? And I say thank you for them. I'm really grateful for them.
So, I mean, we both, in various different ways, have experienced the field. I've trained as a theta healer to actually understand that. But at the same time, I know, and you've told me, and many people also believe, everybody can connect to the field.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it, do you think, that most people don't? Or don't believe that they can't?
I think a lot of it is programming. It's limiting beliefs. It's worried about what the neighbors or the friends will say if they do a little bit of meditation. And there's many different ways to connect to the field, and everybody has a different experience. So it could be meditation. It can be synchronicities. Like, oh, wow, how I thought of my ex and he phoned me, It can be smells or colors or feelings or hot or cold. It can be through breath work.
Yeah.
It can be through trance.
That's quite powerful.
It can be through dance. So it's to take the moment to find what is it that you, and how do you connect to the field?
Yeah.
And just to be still and to feel, even just to sit here and feel the energy tingling in your hands, and to know that the field is inside you and all around you. As you said earlier, it's a web. So you can feel the web, Often in when I'm teaching quantum medicine, I always say there's a ball here. Close your eyes, connect to your heart, and be still. And after a while, you can play, you can feel the energy between the hands. But again, it's always about practicing and believing it's possible.
Yeah.
If you come in saying this is all nonsense, then your mind is so blocked. Once you stop being blocked, and I always think you should try and do it on your own, because then you can feel it yourself, or someone who really knows what they're doing, they can guide you into this.
Train you. Yeah. No, absolutely.
Or just even sit with you, For example, that time when someone sat and said, this is how to meditate, just sit, be still, connect,
Yeah. Even if it's counting your breath, no?
Even if it's counting your breath.
Because if you count your breath to 100 and really following your breath and giving your intention to deep breaths going in, deep breaths going out, usually I find you just stop the chatter.
Well, this is what I was going to say next. The monkey mind is a disaster,
yeah,
right? I need to pay the bills. I have to go pick up my kids from school. Oh, this, oh, that, oh, this. And so for me, when I do it, I close my eyes and I imagine a white wall in front of me. And I do what Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches you to do, which is I am no one, no place, nowhere, no thing. I am. I am just a soul in this gift of a body.
Yeah.
And I don't think. So it's my body connecting to the field, because this is the problem. The ego and the conscious mind, it's trying to always think about the problems or the future or the past, and it's not being in the present. So the key to connecting to the field is to be truly in the present.
But I mean, you call it a problem, but at the same time, it's,
Well,
I guess it's more of it's our survival.
yes, correct.
It's our survival mode,
Yeah.
which is necessary to keep us alive. It's necessary to warn us of dangers, but at the same time, it's not necessarily helping us to propel forward to a happier life, a calmer life, and to recognize the safety that we really do have, or the abundance that we can create.
Yeah.
So how can we truly stay in the present? Not worry about tomorrow, not worry about or be sad about yesterday. How can we truly stay in the present?
I think everybody has a different way, but for me, I find that breath work and meditation works the best for me.
Okay.
Because when I meditate, my mind, I either do a guided meditation,
Yeah.
and I really try and focus and stay on what the person is telling me to do,
Yeah.
or I'm doing my white wall meditation. I am no one, no place, nowhere.
Yeah.
And the more I do that, the more messages I get, and the messages are often answers to the issues I have in my life.
Absolutely.
So then I have
Yeah.
less issues and more peace.
Yeah.
So the more meditation, the better, in
Yeah.
my opinion. And it's hard because we're so busy. You know, we wake up, we went to bed at 1, and it's like, should I do 5 minutes? No, I'll. But even if you go for a walk, it's still a meditation.
100%.
If you go for a swim in the sea, it's still a meditation.
Yeah, 100%.
So there's many different ways to meditate.
Yeah. For me, it's dancing. For me,
For
can
me,
be
it's
skiing.
definitely dancing.
Skiing.
So in Ibiza,
anything.
you can't get away from that.
Yeah, exactly. And anything else that I guess really relaxes the mind. What else?
Singing, playing the piano.
Yes.
Right? What's a belief about love? I'm going off piece now. That you used to hold that now you see differently.
Oh, that's also a big one. My conditioning, and I'm not going to put it down to one thing, my family or my this or my that, but my conditioning was that you have to be a certain way to be loved.
Mm-hmm.
And that automatically taught me that love is out there to be obtained.
Mm-hmm.
And my journey has taught me that nothing is even real out there unless it's in here.
Mm-hmm.
The true nature of reality is reflective. And so what I believe today is that if you don't have any self-love, you cannot love anyone truly, and you cannot experience love truly, because love isn't some fluffy pink heart. Love is the most powerful essence that exists that connects everything. And so for me, love is this powerhouse now rather than, something so transient.
I find this with a lot of clients, especially women. The self-worth is a big issue. And then going back to your book, the self-worth with the food, the bulimia, the anorexia, the hiding in the bathroom as a kid or on the beach, not walking without a sarong. This is all self-worth. And it's something that should be taught at school, actually, because a lot of our mothers have the same issues.
Yes.
And so it's almost, we can't really go back to the mother to instill that, even though she wants to sometimes. It's like, okay, how do we help the mother if the daughter has the issue? Because often I have some clients where the daughter is really suffering and the mother thinks it's the daughter's fault, but actually the mother really
100%.
has really, really bad trauma. So when you look at some of my favorites, and I'm sure some of yours, Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden, Dr. Joe, Wayne Dyer, Lynn McTaggart, they all have one thing in common, which is definitely quantum physics, neuroscience, etc.
Yes.
Do you think quantum physics is for the 2025 and beyond, the new word that psychology was in the past?
It may very well be, because it's the closest thing at the moment that we have to describing the nature of reality. In the future, we might find something else, but right now and after, there have been many different interpretations of the quantum world. There is the parallel universes.
Mm-hmm.
There is the multiverses. There is the this, that, and the other.
But they all exist within one. Right?
Well, they're all theories. In fact, everything is a theory, because at the end of the day, no one thing holds the entire truth. That is why I believe one of the researches that I did was into David Bohm and Krishnamurti, And what I found fascinating was where quantum physics didn't have all the answers, a quantum physicist that then goes, a theoretical physicist that then goes and seeks the answers from a philosopher. And the philosopher is talking about the observed and the observer. And so we are both the observed and the observer. What is really, really important is to recognize that every topic has a piece of our answer.
Mm-hmm.
And together it gives us a fuller picture.
Mm-hmm.
What I used to do as a child was to think, oh my God, that subject is way beyond my understanding. I'll never be able to understand this. And my journey has taught me nothing is beyond my understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And once you put everything together, you have the pieces of the puzzle. I certainly found many pieces of my puzzle through that.
So lastly, what is your wildest dream or dreams for this podcast?
If we can bring to life the power each human being possesses and really bring it to life to a point where it is, you can't go back to unlearning that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I will be an incredibly happy person. If we can share our experiences and bring on other people who've had amazing experiences and to share that in an honest and authentic way so that other people can dare to share in an honest and authentic way, then I think we would have succeeded.
And also
You?
to give people clarity in their lives.
What is your ambition for this? Clarity?
It's to help people access the truth, to undo all the programs, the limiting beliefs, to see if information that they haven't had access to before, that's been communicated, as you said to me at the beginning, in a way that is easy to understand,
Yes,
not intimidating,
no,
and to give them the power to research, to listen, to learn, to go, oh wow, I didn't know that, to play again, to learn again, and to get clarity for their life across all aspects of it. Because I find when people have got clarity, life is much more peaceful and much more joyful.
Yeah, I mean, if we can leave people in a place of interest, then at least they will be curious enough, hopefully, to go and take on their own research. Because once you research yourself, you own the material, you own the knowledge, and you understand it in the way you need it to understand it. Of course, one of my aim is that we can simplify things to a point where it becomes accessible for all. Yeah, 100%.
All right. We are super, super delighted to be doing this show and very, very grateful that you have joined. And we look forward to many, many more shows with you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.